Mark, give me a broad overview of the problems that driven grouse shooting brings us.
It's a very intensive land management, all that burning and drainage and predator control that you need to produce ridiculously high densities of red grouse so that people can shoot a lot of them. That causes lots of problems for all of us. It increases flood risk, it increases water pollution. So we pay for those. We pay through higher home insurance and higher water bills, increases greenhouse gas emissions. So there's a range of problems that affect everyone, even if they've never heard of a hen harrier, never seen a red grouse, never walked on a grouse moor.
And we are missing in areas like this pretty much all of our natural predators when it comes to birds. Forget the ground predators, but when it comes to birds, they're just not here. These are vacuums for birds of prey.
They are. It's shocking. It's shocking. Hen harriers in Scotland, golden eagles, peregrines. You come to this national park, Yorkshire Dales, North York Moors, the Peak District. It looks lovely. But when you look around more carefully, you don't see the wildlife that ought to be there. So we've been robbed of the wildlife. We ought to get that wildlife back.
People might say, look, here's a couple of bird watchers. They know who we are. But there's no ambiguity about this, is there? It's not just a couple of bird watchers having a moan. There's all the evidence we need that these birds are being persecuted.
Oh, they're definitely being persecuted. Nobody really disagrees with that. There's stacks of scientific papers, government reports. DEFRA set up a working group to look at the hen harrier issue. And the issue is there aren't very many of them. And that was trying to tackle the problem of illegal persecution, of wildlife crime. National parks, the upland of Britain, are massive wildlife crime scenes. They are persecuted, and they're persecuted because they eat red grouse. There's no getting away from it. They do eat red grouse.
And what about the agencies that are involved? You know, they are national parks. Some of the land's owned by National Trust. There are other agencies that are meant to be looking after these birds. Why are they failing?
Well, everybody's doing a bit, but it's quite difficult. This is crime that happens up the top of a hill whenever the criminal wants to do it. So let's take hen harriers. They nest on the ground. It's not difficult to find the nest. They're there for weeks. If you want to bump off a hen harrier, you can go up there at 6 o'clock in the morning, 1 April morning. There's nobody else going to be around. You can choose your time. It's kind of an easy crime, and we can't expect the police to be up there guarding every nest. So you can get away with it, and so people do.
To get up at 6 o'clock in the morning in April, go on top of one of these windswept, icy cold moors, you've got to have a good purpose, and the purpose is making money from grouse, isn't it?
Yeah, a good day's grouse shooting lots of birds, that means, will set you back a couple of £1,000 at least. So you need lots of grouse. There'll be hundreds of grouse, sometimes even more, shot on a day's grouse shooting. And birds of prey eat grouse. They do. There's no getting away from it. So, as do foxes and crows and stoats. And you can kill the foxes and crows and stoats, but birds of prey, because they're so vulnerable and so sensitive and so rare, are protected. So it's a crime to do it. But you can see why, if you want the maximum number of red grouse so that people can shoot them for fun and pay you lots of money, you kind of look at a hen harrier and think, well, it's a bit like a crow really. We'd be better off without it. But it's a crime. But if you're never going to be convicted, people will break the law.
What's the solution then in this case?
Well, the British love a compromise, but nobody's found a compromise here. You either have a system where people can shoot lots of red grouse for fun, but you can't have many birds of prey, or you protect the birds of prey, you have more harriers and eagles and peregrines, but then you can't have so much shooting red grouse for fun. So we've all got to make up our minds. And I'm on the side of wildlife and the law. And my view is that we ought to ban grouse shooting. So set up an petition, which has got tens of thousands of signatures on it. If we get to 100,000 signatures by September the 20th, and it'd be great if we did, then it'll be discussed in the Westminster Parliament, which won't mean it gets banned straight away, but it raises the issue. Everyone who hears about the real issues about driven grouse shooting, hardly any of them say, oh, I'm on the side of the grouse shooters. They mostly say, I'm on the side of flood victims. I'm on the side of the hen harrier. I'm on the side of the mountain hares that get killed on driven grouse moors. The more people who know, the more people who will support the idea of banning it. And the more we raise the public up to feel, like I am, affronted by this land use, the sooner we'll see it go. And once it's gone, nobody will miss it.